Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Heather. Up until now I've posted pregnancy related videos. As you can tell, I'm no longer pregnant. I had my munchkin merman, about 3.5 weeks ago on February 2nd. Nope. On February 20. I'm exhausted and I've been wanting to film an update for a while. I had planned on filming his birth. My sister was going to film it for me and I was going to edit it and upload something here from that. But with the way that his birth happened, that wasn't a possibility, so I'm just going to tell his birth story. If you can't tell, I'm exhausted and I didn't write anything down, so I'm just going to ramble here and then edit it and piece it together, and I will probably forget a lot, and it will be whatever it will be. I just filmed a postpartum update, and that I said that I'm doing this mostly for me so that I can remember, looking back also for him if he wants to watch it and, see his birth story. Also for anyone that can relate, or if it would help anyone in any way, or if anyone's curious about what happened. I know I posted a little bit on Facebook, but yeah, it's been a lot. I think the last time that I made a video was the day before I had him. I don't remember. I'm exhausted. I think that I talked about I had an ECV scheduled, external cephalic version, where they try and flip them from the outside because he was breech. And then if it was not successful, I had a C-section scheduled for 12:30. And if it was successful, then I was going to stay and have an induction. I was 38 weeks the day that he was born. Let's see if he stays asleep, otherwise I might have to feed him. Because I had gestational diabetes and I wasn't able to get my morning number as low as they'd like it to be. Plus I had high blood pressure on and off throughout pregnancy. It was always only at the doctor's, and at home it would be fine, but they checked me for preeclampsia several times while I was pregnant, and it always came back fine. But with my age and those things, they didn't want to leave him inside of me any longer. They thought it would be safer to get him out. That was the plan. Either way, he was coming. I'm pretty sure I talked about I was worried about not being able to eat. They didn't want you to eat the night before the ECV in case you ended up having to have an emergency C-section. I had a C-section scheduled for if it didn't work, but there's always a chance that baby could go into distress and you could have to do an emergency C-section, so they didn't want me to eat. And my doctor had given me the go-ahead to have a clear liquid diet the night before, which it would be nice if the doctors in the hospital communicated, because that's what I did. They said don't eat after 12, like after midnight, like no matter what time it would have been that they would have done that. But I was like, fuck that, because the doctor said it had to be at least 8 hours. So I had a grilled cheese and chicken noodle soup at like 2:30 in the morning or something like that. And then after that I had bone broth and Jello and ginger ale, mostly just bone broth and Jello. Whenever I woke up, I'd sip on that and eat some Jello, and the Jello was like what was saving my life, just because there was some substance to it. It's weird thinking back to that day. Goodness, what you doing? So I had to be there at 9:30. I drank the rest of the bone broth and ate a bunch of Jello right before we went in. I couldn't have ate any more of that anyways. It was making me gaggy and feel kind of pukey at that point. But I think because I had so much of it in me, I did okay. Also, like once we got in there, I was just in the bed and relaxing. I had to have a cough drop pretty much the whole time while I was in the room for the ECV, but I did make it. I did not pass out or throw up. Almost while he's eating. I haven't figured out how to do much of anything, like, other than what I'm doing with him. Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. So yeah, we had to be there at 9:30. Went in, they hooked me up like they do for a non-stress test. Well, they hadn't put me in a bed, hooked me up, asked me all kinds of questions, you know, what they do, like your history and your medications and all of that crap. And then basically just monitored him for a while because they want to make sure that the baby's in a good place before they attempt the ECV. Because like I said, there's a small chance that they could go into distress and end up with an emergency C-section. The ECV was actually at 11:30, which I think we got started a little bit later than that. 2 doctors come in, and I don't really know how to explain it. You can watch videos on YouTube with how they do it. Yeah. I mean, they basically push on him from the outside of your stomach. I've seen it done with one doctor, but I had 2. So one's pushing one way and the other's pushing the other. Hi, baby. Oh, yeah. What you doing? Because he wasn't straight up and down breech. His head was over to the left, and then his back kind of curved around by my belly button and down. So he was almost like, he was like oblique or almost transverse. So they were going that way, like down to the left first, because that's, you know, his head was closest to that. And they were getting him to move, but he kept like popping back. They tried that way and didn't get him to stay. So then they tried the other way. And again, they were getting him to move, but like they were getting to a certain point and it was like there was no way he was going further that way, like it hurt. Some people have to have an epidural because some people it's really painful. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't pleasant, but it was just a lot of pressure. I feel like I'm pretty good at breathing through things, so I was fine. I just wanted him to turn because I did not want to have a C-section. Yeah, that way wasn't going to happen, but they were like, well, like we were almost getting them the first place. Do you want us to try one more time? And I'm like, yeah. They gave me some kind of medication. I can't remember what it was called, but it's a uterine relaxant because they thought, you know, maybe then he wouldn't keep popping back up. But like, fair warning, this does have side effects and you might feel like crap, basically, which I did. I'll get to that. Yeah, they're like pushing on him and they're like, Daddy, come over here and help and talk to him. And if you've ever met Nick, like if you know us in real life, you could probably picture this, but basically Nick made the doctor's job a lot more fun. It made it more entertaining for me too, even though I'm breathing through, you know, feeling of the pressure and some pain. But it's like wanting him to turn so bad. But Nick's like cheering him on and making noises and saying all kinds of funny things, and the doctors are just cracking up. And yeah, like he made the day a lot funner for them and for me and for everyone. But so they ended up getting him to flip. So the ECV was successful. But after getting him to flip, and you know, they got an ultrasound machine in there because they got to make sure that everything's all good and that you don't have to be rushed to an emergency C-section. They got his head down, but then the cord was underneath his head, so then it's like cord presentation. So basically, if I were to go into labor and end up with a cord prolapse, like the cord's coming out first, they told me we can like just let you hang out for a while and see if it moves on its own, but they didn't think that was likely. Like with the cord down there, it's no-go. Like there's not going to be any induction. Like you cannot have your baby vaginally. if the cord is coming out first. We decided to go ahead with the C-section. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna cry right now. It was crazy. Like, I don't feel like I've thought about it that much or talking about it. I don't know, like, cause I ended up like sobbing. Like with the decision. I didn't want to have a C-section. I was worried about my body, how it would handle it, given my illnesses, and also like being pregnant and birth and all of that is like so weird. Like, you would think, like, yeah, have a C-section sucks, recovery is worse, it sucks, but hey, at least I don't have to go through the work of labor and delivering the baby. But like, no, I wanted to. Like, nature's amazing, man. Like, our bodies are amazing. Like, I am a researcher. I am kind of like a giant nerd. Like, I like to understand how things work. So I read a lot about birth and labor and delivery and all that before. There's all of these things that work together, like, perfectly affect you, like, at an emotional level and a psychological level. Like, that's how they're meant to get here, and I wanted to do that. I told myself going in, like, if he doesn't flip, like, if we end up with a C-section, there's a reason. And I have to just keep telling myself that. Like, that's how it's meant to be, and you know, we're going to do what we can to not have to have a C-section, but if that's how it goes, that's how it goes, and that's fine. And I was okay with it, but it's still, it's really disappointing. And also, like, the medication I told you made me really shaky, and like, I already hadn't eaten, and so I was like uber emotional, so I'm like sobbing. So the ECV took longer than it was supposed to, so we were already running late for the C-section. So it was basically like, alright, yeah, we're having a C-section, let's go. Walk me to the operating room. Super weak and shaky and jittery from that medication. They like just walked me in there, get on the table, here we go. I don't know what it's called, where they put the medication in your spine to numb you. You know, go in there and you get on the table and they do that, and they tell you that, like, it works pretty much right away, and it does. Like, they did the thing, they put a numbing stuff on there, and that hurts like a bitch. And then I didn't feel nothing when they would put the thing in my spine. And then they lay me down, and then they're like, oh, can you move over a little bit? I'm like, no. Like, I can't move. I can't feel my body. And then they're going around doing all kinds of things, and, like, the ceiling is like metal, and, like, I could see myself in it like a mirror, and I'm thinking, oh dear God, like, I don't want to be able to see it. And, like, how am I gonna keep myself from looking at that? But, like, when they lifted the light up, it, like, blocked it, so it wasn't a problem. But, like, you're just laying there, that, like, they have my arms, like, stretched out to the side, which, like, the top of you isn't numb, but it almost felt like they were. So yeah, they run around doing stuff, and then Nick came in, and they had, like, the curtains up, and he's, like, sitting right here by me. They basically just start doing stuff, and, like, you could feel things, but you can't feel what it is that you're feeling, and mostly you're just numb, and it was, like, so bizarre. I just, like, I kept my eyes closed and breathed. Like, I didn't want to think about what they were doing. Like, I wanted to leave, which is basically what I did, because I didn't want to like think about them cutting me. That's scary. And not only is it scary, like for me, like he's right in there, like, and they're gonna get him out, and like if something were to go wrong, that's when it would be, you know. So yeah, I basically just checked out. So like Nick was talking to me something like, you know, telling me I was doing a good job and like whatever nice things. I don't even remember because like I just left the building. Maybe I will insert some pictures here, like the difference from me when they were doing the surgery to me when he was here. Yeah. And they're breathing and not being in the room. Said, oh, a little blondie. And that brought me back a little bit, like, what, blondie? Like, where the crap would he get blonde hair from? But, and all of a sudden he's crying. And, like, that's, like, the best sound ever. I don't know, for whatever reason, it reminded me of a little duck, but it was like, oh my gosh, he's here. Like, he's really here. Like, he's really, really here. Like, he's really real. Like, you know, pass him around the curtain to the nurse so that we could see him, and they're cleaning him up and stuff. And, like, I was just like, oh my gosh, he's so small. Like, he's so small. My sister's girls were both about 9.5 pounds, and with me having gestational diabetes, we kind of assumed that he would be big. And then I know he was 2 weeks early, but I wasn't expecting him to be as small as he was. He only weighed 6 pounds, 13 ounces. He was 20 inches long. His name's Elijah Liam, or Eli, if you didn't watch my little announcement video that I did. Yeah, so Nick got to hold him, and, you know, he brought him over by me. He was just so tiny. I remember it's all a blur. Me from the table to, like, was it a gurney? Whatever you ride on. It was a bizarre feeling. Like, honestly, I don't remember. Like, I know we went to the recovery room after that, but I don't... I don't remember. I feel like I was so out of it. Like, the drugs are, like, in your body, like, down. Like, they numb you, but, like, I almost felt, like, drugged. The hospital that I delivered at is very, skin on skin, nurse breastfeeding friendly. Like, I like that, like, they immediately had him skin on skin on with me, and, helped me get him nursing, like, in the recovery room. Like, it's all a blur. We were in there for, like, a long time. My sister was there waiting. Like, she was there, I think, before he was actually born, and then I don't know how long we were in the recovery room. It didn't feel that long to me, but I think it was a couple hours. Yeah, I don't remember. They took us up to our room, and I don't remember how long we were there. So he was born on Thursday. I think we left on Sunday. This feels like an eternity ago. Like, for longer than they expected. I couldn't move or any of that, and they put the things on you, on your legs to circulate your blood, and I had a catheter, and, you know, obviously I couldn't get up to pee. I don't know, it's all a blur. One thing that I do remember is I did not feel ready to go home. I was still unable to, like, hold him standing up. Like, I was unable to carry him. They, you know, wanted you up and walking around, which I would do in the room. I didn't go out in the hall and stuff, but I was like in a lot of pain, and like they're like, oh well, some people can do it with just the Tylenol and Motrin, but some people need the Oxy, and I'm like, okay, well I'm not taking Oxy, so that really pisses me off, because like instead of saying, hey, like some people might need more time to recover, some people might, you know, have a harder time recovering, and maybe they just need a little more time. They're like, throw some drugs on top of it and you're good. Anyways, I wasn't going to take any Oxy, so, you know, I deal with the pain fine, but like I didn't feel ready to go home. I would have liked to stay one more night, and they were basically just like, sorry for you, get the fuck out, basically. I don't know, like, Nick was real upset about it too. It was like, I don't even know what it was, like, it just didn't feel right. Like, I didn't feel right going home, but we did. We went home one Sunday, and then I started having problems. I don't remember when I started having problems. Obviously, like, after you have a baby, like, everybody's constipated and everybody doesn't poop for a while. I tried to go at the hospital before we left because it felt like it was right there, and like if I could go, it might help some of the pain I was having and the pressure I was having in my stomach, but I wasn't able to go. And then I don't remember when it started happening after I was home, but this is the hardest thing to explain, and TMI for this whole video. Like, we're talking about childbirth, so if you don't want to hear about bodily functions, this is not the right video. It got like where it was really painful, like not even trying to poop. I was trying to pee, but like just sitting down on the toilet, it would, I've told this to so many people, it felt like my butt was trying to fall out. It did not feel like poop. It felt like my body, and it was insanely painful. Like, I would go to sit on the toilet and like have to stand back up, and like I would cry and shake and basically scream. It was horrible, and it got so bad that I couldn't pee. Like, I couldn't pee at all. The only way that I could pee would be to get in the shower and like stand there and like bounce, and then like it would release. So Tuesday, Eli had his first doctor's appointment, so we took him to that, and he was all good. He's done really good. We took him to his appointment, and I had sent a message to my OB's office the night before, and then called them after his appointment to see if I could get in that day, because like I felt like I was dying, straight up. Oh yeah, went to the doctor. I was supposed to go back for a blood pressure check the next day anyways, so went to the doctor and told her what was going on, and she looked and told me my butt was not falling out. Like, literally, I cannot over exaggerate how much pain I was in. Like, I thought for sure like I must have like some serious hemorrhoids, which didn't make sense to me because they're not on the outside, you know, so if they're that bad you would think they'd be on the outside, or like a rectal prolapse or something. Like, literally I did not think that it was just poop. Like, it was horrible. I went to the doctor, and we didn't even really like get into what to do about that situation, because she took my blood pressure and it was through the roof, and she was basically like, yeah, hun, you've got postpartum preeclampsia. I was so swollen. Yeah, that's something I haven't mentioned. I was so swollen. I did not lose any weight when I had him. I weighed the same when I got home as I did when I went in. that's how swollen I was. Like, the nurses kept saying, like, oh yeah, it doesn't look like your swelling is too bad. And I'm looking at my legs and stuff, and I'm just thinking, like, are you kidding me? Like, from, like, head to toe, like, I was swollen. Like, it's like, do you think that I'm just, like, a bigger person than I am? Because, like, to me, I look like a completely different person. Like, I was, like, so bloated. She was like, yeah, you've got postpartum preeclampsia, and you gotta go back to the hospital. So she sent us home so we could pack a bag, and she called the hospital and had them setting up whatever, and had them call me back and tell me my room number, and I was admitted, like, direct admittance, so I didn't have to go through the ER. And since he was not a patient, he could be there with me, but Nick had to be there too. It's fine, but I was so grateful. Like, I don't know what I would have done, like, if I had to be separated from him. So yeah, luckily that wasn't the case. They were able to come with me. I ended up staying in the hospital. I think we left again on Sunday. So like 5 days. Again, it's all a blur. Like, it's weird. Like, being in the hospital. It's like a different dimension or something. Like, everything all blurs together. Like, you know, when you're exhausted, like when you have a newborn and you're not hardly sleeping, and it's like everything gets all kind of blurred together anyways. But like in the hospital, it's even worse because like you're in a hospital room and you're not sleeping at all. Like, you don't sleep a lot when you have a newborn, but like hospital not sleeping is different because like every freaking hour they're coming in and checking in your vitals. It's like every time you fall asleep somebody comes in. So like the whole thing is a blur. So I don't, timeline wise, I have no clue. I'll give you the basics of what happened. I have no idea. So they put you on, they give you an IV of magnesium, like a magnesium sharp, I don't know. Yeah, they give you magnesium and an IV, which you think, like, magnesium, like, you don't think that that might be a really bad thing because it's magnesium. But they're like, yeah, you have to be, like, have fluid restrictions. I could have, it was like 3 ounces of maybe of water every 2 hours. When like a blur, because like on the magnesium, it was like, I felt like high, like, oh, you pooping? Yeah, how much do you have to change you pretty soon? Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, they give me an IV of magnesium, and you're supposed to have it for 24 hours. That's usually what they do. I ended up on it for 12. What they don't tell you is, like, the reason that... Honey, where are you going? Hi. The reason that they have the fluid restriction is because magnesium can pull the fluid from your body and put it in your lungs. Basically what happened to me. I didn't feel good, but they tell you you're not going to feel good. They tell you you're going to be hot and you're going to be shaky and you're going to be loopy and you're going to be really tired, like really tired. Like, you feel so sedated. Like, you're just like not there. So, you know, they tell you that's what's going to happen. You know, I didn't really think anything of it because that's what's supposed to happen. So at some point, the doctor came in and she was like, I want to get another, like, I want to do another blood draw on you because you look like you've been on magnesium for a lot longer than you have. So I want to check your magnesium levels, which they came back normal. So then they just left me on. To me, I'm like, if you could look at me and be like, yeah, you're not right. Like, I don't really care what the levels are. I would think that you would take me off because, just because this is a problem with the way they do blood tests. somebody, like, normal for somebody isn't necessarily normal for somebody else. So because my levels came back as normal, you're like, yeah, you're good. Even though you're looking at me and saying, you look like you've been on it a lot longer. Like, you look like you've got too much. I don't know. To me, it makes sense that you would take me off of it at that point. But they're like, yeah, you know, your levels are good. So I don't know anything because I'm not a doctor. So, yeah, I'm going to stay on it because I'm all freaking doped up on magnesium. I don't know what's going on. But, like, every time that they come in to take your vitals and all that, they ask a series of questions. I don't remember what they are now, other than they ask about difficulty breathing. So, when I was in the hospital the first time, where are you going? Where are you going, Cinca? He's so cute. Where are you going? When I was in the hospital the first time, hi, baby. Hi, baby. What's he doing? What's he doing? You guys want to see him real quick? Oh, he's pooping. Pooping for the camera. Okay. Oh, when I was in the hospital the first time, I kept, like, waking up not able to breathe in the night, and I didn't know what was going on. They think that I was having, like, some sleep apnea, and I don't know, like, because I don't sleep on my back at night if I have sleep apnea, and I just haven't had any problems. They are also talking about, like, the weight of my breasts causing it. As my milk came in, those suckers were crazy. Like, insane. Like, literally nursing him and, like, holding on to my boob. My hand was falling asleep. Like, it was so heavy, it was putting my hand to sleep. Yeah. So, all of a sudden, I was feeling kind of like that when I was on the magnesium. So, I was like, okay, is this the same thing or what? And I was feeling like, it wasn't necessarily like, you know, they're asking you, are you having difficulty breathing? And I'm like, should I call the nurse? Should I tell them? Because I'm not having difficulty breathing, I'm forgetting to breathe. But yeah, like, I started forgetting to breathe. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm having difficulty breathing or if I'm just forgetting. Like, I'm so, like, sedated feeling. So I don't remember if I ended up calling the nurse or what, because then it was like, it got worse and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely having a hard time breathing. So they came in and then they, like, real quick got me off of the magnesium. Yeah, basically they were trying to drown me in my own fluids. They did get my blood pressure down with that, and then they had me on blood pressure medication for a while. They took me off of that before I left because I was having headaches and they thought that might be causing it. The whole hospital stay was basically a shit show. Like, after the magnesium, I had a horrible, horrible cough. I still am coughing. My nose was running like crazy too. Like, but I wasn't sick. Like, when I left the hospital, I felt like it had turned into, like, an infection and I was sick, but I didn't feel sick before that. It was like, I don't know, the fluids from the stuff, I don't know. It's such a blur. So yeah, they got my blood pressure down, but we still had the poop issue to deal with. I had a bowel disimpaction where the doctor stuck her finger in my vagina and pushed poop out manually, which didn't really help. I was still in just as much pain. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't pee. I had a catheter in. Oh, they put a catheter in before the magnesium, and they got like 2 liters of pee out of me because I couldn't pee. It was just all in there. They gave me an enema. They gave me all kinds of stool softeners. I don't remember what all that they did, but nothing was helping. And nobody was listening to me. Like, I'm telling you, it feels like my butt is falling out. Like, literally, I'm telling you, like, it feels like this, like it's my body. Like, they'd be like, is it because you're straining? I'm like, no, I'm not straining. I'm not even trying to go. Like, I got a catheter now, so I don't even have to pee. So like I'm not like there's no trying to go. Like sitting on the toilet, just sitting down, I feel like I'm gonna die. Like I feel like I am dying. Like I don't know how many people I told it to, and it was just like, oh, whatever. And they did a scan. They ended up scanning my abdomen to make sure that there wasn't anything wrong, like from the surgery or whatever. And no, I was just like that backed up. It was like days and days of like nobody listening to me. The doctor that did the disimpaction thing, her suggestion was to put me on Miralax, like frequently until basically I was going liquid to get it all out and then back off. And for whatever reason, they decided not to do that. So they were giving me Miralax every 8 hours, which wasn't helping. Like I sit on the toilet and there'd be like nasty like seepy poop every time. But like whatever it was, which it ended up, it was just like a big ball of poop. But like it felt like my body, like that was not going to come out. And it was like nobody was listening to me. Finally, one time, like, I don't remember when they took the catheter out, but when I was in there trying to pee, and I'm crying and screaming and shaking and feeling like I'm going to die, and the nurse happened to walk in at that point, and then it was like, oh shit, like, she's really in pain. Like, then they started taking me a little bit seriously. They ended up doing another disimpaction, this time like just in my butt. I know, way too much information, but literally just digging poop out of my butt while I screamed in pain. Screamed through the first one too. It was like the most painful thing I've ever experienced. Do not recommend it. I don't remember when that was, but she did the second one because like I could take stool softeners and stuff all day long. All it was doing was making the stuff up higher soft, so making more of the seepy stuff and making me feel then like I had to go. So then I had to sit on the toilet and feel like my butt was falling out and feel like I was dying. So during the disimpaction, she was trying to get that out, which it did end up helping, but Nick went and got me like a bunch of like probiotic drinks, and I had brought my own Miralax, so I took it more than they were allowing me to, and finally was able to get that out. And like when it happened, I like seriously thought about taking a picture and sending it to my sister, because I was like, oh my god, that right there, that is why I felt like I was dying. Like I almost wish I would have to show you guys. Like that's disgusting, but like then you could see, like I was not lying, I wasn't making it up. Like somebody should have been taking me seriously. But still, then after that, like I'm still not going normally. Like I get crampy and then I go like a bunch. Good times. I don't remember what else they did in the hospital. They kept coming in and wanting to give me different things, and nobody listens to you and nobody tells you what's going on. It's just like all of a sudden just like a change in plans, and we're doing this, and like they started giving me blood thinner all of a sudden, and that I am super sensitive to medication. Like I'm just a really sensitive person, and then like with chronic fatigue and all of that, it kind of comes with the territory. So yeah, please don't give me medications unless it's absolutely needed. Like, why are we giving me a blood thinner? Because I met enough like red flags for the possibility of a blood clot. So one of the doctors talked about doing an ultrasound to check for them. But instead of doing that, we're just going to give you medication. Which then I woke up in the middle of the night feeling horrible, and Nick's like running back and forth to the store, like getting me food and getting me juice, and like maybe I need sugar, maybe I need protein, maybe I need, like, trying to figure out what was going on with my body. And then I'm like, well, it started happening after they gave me that shot, so yeah, we're not doing that anymore. And like, they let me not do that one, so that was good. But yeah, that was definitely, hi baby, that was definitely the cause of that. But it was like, I wanted to go home, but I was scared to go home because, like, every day, like, I kept getting worse. It was like, after I was on the magnesium, to be honest, like, I never felt like I came off of it until, I don't know, I was home probably 3 or 4 days before I felt like I was, like, off of it. So yeah, like, after the magnesium, like, I didn't feel like I was off of it. Like, every day, I felt worse. So it was like, I didn't know if, like, and like the doctors didn't know either, like, was there something else wrong? And they kept watching my blood pressure, and that did pretty good after that. But I've been watching it at home, and it's been okay. But like, they kept trying to add different things, and like with everything they'd add, I'd get worse. It was not fun. I was kind of like a zombie. Like, I kept getting worse, like, every day. And then, like, talking about going home and, like, trying to decide if I could go home. And it's like, yeah, I want to go home, but also it's, like, kind of terrifying because last time I was like, I'm not ready to go home. And you guys were, like, basically, like, well, go, get out. And then 2 days later, I ended up back there. And they're like, okay, well, you know, if something happens, then just like last time, then you go to your doctor and you come back in. I'm like, I didn't go to my doctor for for the blood pressure. Like, I don't even know that I had preeclampsia. I didn't feel good, but I didn't feel good before I left. I went for the constipation. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm definitely glad that I'm home. Like I said, a few days after when I started feeling any better at all. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm sure there's like a lot of things that I missed. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the whole deal. I'll show you guys him. So. Say hi, Eli. Yeah, hi, baby. So yeah, I'm gonna guess that I forgot things. That's all I can think of right now. Any comments, video ideas, questions, drop them below. Like, seriously, I would like to do, sorry, my fingers. I'd like to do like a Q&A video, so like, any questions, seriously, leave a comment. I don't know when I'll be back or what videos I will post. Anything you want to see, let me know. And thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys again soon.